We are out in front of the Supreme Court during the oral arguments in the women's sports case. I'm here with Cassidy and Sarah Beth, her attorney from the Alliance Defending Freedom. Cassidy, tell us your personal connection to this issue.
When I was a junior in high school, I was a Nordic skier, and my dad had told me I'd be competing against a male. And I kind of laughed in his face because it's something that doesn't happen to you until it does. And so I showed up to my first race, and sure enough, he was there, and I lost 11 times to him.
What was the impact on you and other competitors?
I think when something like that happens to you, and it's essentially a slap in the face that you don't matter and your spaces don't matter, and so I think you absolutely lose some passion for your sport, and I think that's what happened to me. But I think I have a new fire in me in fighting for this too.
At what point did you decide to take a stand on this issue?
When Trump did his executive order, my state said we're not going to comply with that, and so at that point we reached out to some representatives in my state just in support of them and saying we back you. And they reached out to me and said, can you speak at the White House? And I said, yes. And so that's where it started. And now I've spoken at the White House, the Department of Justice, Alliance Defending Freedom in Florida, so multiple different places.
Now, Sarah Beth, I want to ask you, we hear her story and it's obviously unfortunate. Is this primarily about fairness, or are there bigger issues as well?
Oh, there's so much at stake. It's about fairness, it's about safety. We want to protect these girls not only on the field, but in their locker rooms, in their private spaces. It's about standing for the reality that men and women are different, and that should be celebrated.
What do you expect from the court today?
We're hopeful that the court will rule that states can protect fairness and safety of women's sports and acknowledge the biological reality that men and women are different.
Now, Cassidy, when you take a stand, there's always some kind of consequence for that in this environment culturally. What have you learned in the process?
You know, I've learned that even though people are going to go against you, that's going to happen no matter what. But God gave us voices, and we have to use those voices, because if we choose not to use those voices, then there was no point in us being here. And we have rights, and we need to protect those rights.
Awesome. Thank you so much.